like maybe he has a 100% win rate, at least this round so far. Xenotech winning on that, Call the Meek winning on him. It was like super strong across the board, and all we know, Dianzio and his mechanics together with Aloha on the Arden, it looks very strong to me just from the first glance. What do you suggest here? Oh, and this is what you just were talking about, Rome. Rome just right here with the Castro thing from Phoenix.
So, Team Phoenix has a very strong early game composition. However, I don't feel like you get too much out of Finn's kit that matches and synergizing with the kits coming out of Kestrel and Sky.
Okay.
The only thing that would happen really well in their perspective here is that they would wait for Velocity to dive in, and if
Yep.
Finn would polite company, Kestrel would throw out a camo, and that would be their combo, given that roam perspective.
All right, thank you very much for your information here. We are going into the fold, ladies and gentlemen, and together with that, no one else than our top cast is Tasty Bacon and Forecourt Jester with this game. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you very much, Blueberries. Hammers, Velocity, and Phoenix Reborn going head to head. Who is going to crumble under the pressure? Will it be the Hammers, or will it be the Phoenix at the end of the day, flying high? We'll have to find out with God of Sins in this lane on the Sky, going up against Dianzio. Dianzio is one of those players that we always talk about how incredibly gifted he is mechanically, and on this Black Feather, it's going to be just so scary. Once the game gets a little bit later, obviously Black Feather not the strongest early on, but once that mid to late game comes around, it is a menace to deal with.
I'm a little biased in terms of I don't actually like the Enzio on melees. Like, there's nothing wrong with Black Feather. He's probably going to do amazing, but I always find him just a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more of an impact on ranged characters. But that being said, a buff comp for a Black Feather, I mean, we've already seen buff comps work. We've seen them fail. Now coming into this one with Velocity up against Team Phoenix, I mean, it could really go either way here. The early game potential from Phoenix Reborn is somewhat staggering with that Kestrel, and we'll have to see if that combo of the camo to kind of counter the engages of Dianzio will actually be a factor in this round.
Not only that, but you could have that potential combo of a active camo field into a quibble. Like, you're just stunned forever if you get stuck in that. So, and then obviously a death from above can come raining down on top of that too. So that's going to be, I really want to see that combo happen. That triple stun in one giant AoE. If Phoenix can lock that down, that's an instant teamfight victory, like hands down.
Well, it's going to take a little bit of coordination and a few levels, but I mean, so far Dianzio, Veins was there, he had the protect. He's actually just going to go ahead all the way home and probably just do some shopping. He has that book eulogies, and yeah, he's just going to go boots, attack speed, a little bit of health, and health I think could go a long way, especially with the upfront firepower of a Sky and a Kestrel this early on.
Absolutely. Health is, it's one of the stats that it doesn't matter what you build. Health is the counter to every kind of damage. So it's a good idea to build it early. Make yourself that little bit extra tanky. But meanwhile, in the jungle, we are seeing a fight as starting all over, and Skojin are being taken out right now by Dianzio. He's going to secure the kill. He's still in some trouble though, very low as Skojin gets that quibble down, but the shield coming out to save his life. Will Dianzio be able to run from this? He has that significantly more move speed than Finn. Stops the shop to buy himself a potion to try and stay alive here. And Dianzio, he's just toying with him at this point, jumping in now that the rest of his team is there. What a play by Dianzio, just pushing the hero to the limits, dancing around that Finn, able to stay just out of reach and alive long enough for his teammates to come down and help finish that one off.
The jungle troll, unfortunately, just not in his element in that 2v1. Dianzio not only picked up the farm, both of his backs, but he was able to take down Kestrel and then kite out fast enough and far enough that Finn just wasn't able to, take any kind of kill right there. So Dianzio, you said it, like those mechanics, I think he's still better on those ranges, but you just saw the power of some of those fastest fingers here in the West. So absolutely fantastic stuff out of him. That's going to be giving him a big boost here early on. At the same time, in the lane, God of Sins actually got 2v1 between the Arden and the Adagio. That was the third kill of the game right there. So Team Reborn is just not off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, they are Team Phoenix, so everyone knows the Phoenix has to, burn
Die
to
to rise
ashes
again.
and then rise again. So maybe this is just the part where the Phoenix is, on fire and is being reduced to ash, and
But they're
then
not reborn yet.
they'll turn it around and will actually then rise up from the flames. But right now, that's going to be Goddesson's trying to get that damage out. Veins soaking up a good portion of it as
Oof.
Skogent, oh my
Oof.
goodness, that damage from the from those heartbreaker stacks.
The
is-
buff Heartbreaker set.
Yeah, buffed heartbreaker too. That's just, you saw just how much damage it did
That
to
felt like
Skogent.
20-25% of the hit points right there, as everything just kind of came together. God of Sin is still just even getting just chased down. I don't know if Veins is going to get out. It doesn't look like we actually have anything left in the quiver for starting all over. And in fact, Enzo just comes in, says no, that's going to be a kill from Aloha on top of it. Skogent's coming late to the party, man. But I guess we're not done. Are you actually going to be diving this? That is a level 6 low 4 there.
Yeah, it is level 6 Aloha, but Finn is still a Finn, and the turret is still at full health. So they too think better of it and back off. But Dienzio just going to continue farming. He's pretty low. However,
But it's a
does
Finn.
have that Book of Eulogies, so every minion will heal him up a little bit more. And you can see he's been farming so well. 59 minions to his name. And you look at the side of Team Phoenix, 36 and 32.
Yep.
I mean, Dienzio has almost as much farm as both the carries from Phoenix combined. But right now, those glimmer shots are doing a lot of damage on to Dienzio and Veins. They're gonna have to back off this turret. Unless, actually, no, Aloha is gonna get here. Now the fight is going on. Dienzio is going in. Look at that damage, just immediately taking down, starting all over. God of Sin soon to follow, and now Skogent, there's nowhere for you to go, buddy. That is an ace picked up by Velocity. 9-0 in 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, as a caster, you never really want to say this, but really all we can do from Team Reborn is just avoid. That's all they can do right now. They don't have the levels to kind of go up against this lead that is accrued from Velocity. They have 2 level 6 ultimates ready to go. One of them Rose Offensive, spammable, no problem. The other from Aloha is adverse if they really do need it in a pinch. And that kind of firepower, that kind of superiority this early on means you cannot fight. You could not push, you cannot fight, there is no trapping. You just have to kind of turtle up and look for that mid to late game push. And it sucks. Like, that is a terrible spot for a team to kind of, be in. That was a heck of a one-shot, one-kill. Unfortunately, Goldmine not being taken whatsoever, so it does get wasted out. This is just going to be another 3-0 right here, I think.
Or is it? Veins getting caught in it, that death from above does manage to stay alive, and it looks like you were going to be correct, sir, as that is now Dienzio using that Rose Offensive to get that last bit of damage over, and it looked like Veins, he was so close. I mean, shades of our previous matchup with TSM, getting so close to falling, but that Fountain of Renewal coming out at the last second, preventing any deaths. 12-0 and 2 turrets taken down at 7.5 inch. You usually don't see 2 turrets down this early unless there's a saw in the game.
Or it's a battle royale.
Yeah, or it's a battle royale. Battle royale, you have 3 or 4 turrets down at this point, but it is just utter dominance right now from Hammers Esports.
Yeah, it's, Halcyon Hammers Esports, yeah, they are just absolutely dominating. They are at a kill and a quarter a minute, kill and a half a minute, something like that right now. And at 8 minutes in, 12-0, they are accruing a 6,000 gold lead. Look at Dienzio just in that bush, making sure nobody comes out. Basically, the map is their playground. And with the levels, with the farm, as I said, you can't really look for a fight. And Team Reborn, I'm not entirely too sure that, again, I'm very happy saying this, but they are doing exactly all they can right now. They have to turtle up and wait for the farm to come to them, and even then, I just don't think it's going to be a mountain they can climb.
Yeah, especially, a few patches ago, the change was made where if the minion mine is captured, the lane minions are still worth the same amount of gold. So that it makes the come from behind even more difficult, as God of Sins doing what he can, gets that death from above down. But look at that, it barely tickled.
Dienzio didn't even move. He just Death from above, tickle from above, tickle me elbow, yeah. And now 2 kills, looking for a third. I think they can easily just dive it if they really want, but I mean, at this point, it's game. Like, it's 14-0. We just picked up a Solar Blade here from Kestrel. They were doing good in terms of like trying to get as much farm as they can safely, but this is just a massacre.
Yeah, it really is. Starting all over did pick up a weapon infusion. You know, early infusions are the last ditch effort. When you know that you're it's either when you're extremely far ahead and confident you can pick them up if you have that extra gold and aren't looking for an item, or if you are looking for a desperation play, and that's going to be a death from above. It does stop Banes for now, but the gauntlet keeps the side of Phoenix in place as well, and another ace.
Whew.
Those health bars, it is almost instantaneous
Yep.
how quickly they go down. Ace buff minions now on this turret. That's already the 3rd lane turret destroyed at 10 minutes, and Hammer's velocity, they're going to look to end this game.
Yeah,
We're
it's
10
mercy kill.
minutes in.
You just got to try to mercy kill. I was gonna say it's a 12-minute game or so. It really depends on how much farther Reborn is gonna push out here. But 17-0, 8,000 gold. The levels are just absolutely insane. We finally get a verse into a low. Okay, gentleman's agreement. Aloha or a low 4?
It's Aloha.
All right, fine. So we finally get a point into the verse, but again, like the levels and the items at what, the 6-minute mark was it? I mean, that was just it. There was no way to compare, not with this comp, because there's really nothing that Team Phoenix Reborn could even like burst. Like if you didn't have 6 on top of Skojan, you can't bring anybody into a bad situation. The only thing you could really do is just catch them with a camo somehow, an offensive camo, and just hope that the stun lands. From there into the death from above, that was the combo that we wanted to see, but there was just never going to be an opportunity, not with Skojan, not level 6. And now he's level 7, but I think it's just too little too late.
Yeah, it absolutely is too little too late. I mean, going back to talking about those levels, the lowest level on Hammers is the same as the highest level on Phoenix. The items there's such a massive disparity. Hammers, they're going in, they don't even have to worry about this fight. Look at that, the turret is down, and it's now onto the crystal. It looks like they want this fight, maybe for some stat padding, but it's all but over. The kill is picked up onto starting all over. They're chasing God of Sins and Skojan back onto the fountain. The Forced Accord is just too short, and with the crystal going down, that is going to be a sub 12-minute game by Hammer's velocity on Phoenix Reborn. And like you said, it was so one-sided. There really isn't even much to say about it.
Well, at least in my experiences, if you run into a Kestrel early on and the Kestrel wins the fight, which she very well could have with that Finn, they just kind of got jumped by Dienzio in his own jungle. I mean, it was just like the perfect angle for him. If Kestrel can win that fight, usually they'll have a really good game. If they lose that initial fight, and especially since they invaded, they didn't get the kills, they eventually lost a 2-0 exchange, and then now they're late to their own farm in the jungle, typically that's the very beginning of a bad game, and that's exactly what happened here. Starting all over is going to have to start all over in game number 2. These guys got to go back to the drawing board, and they got to say, all right, if we got to take this early game comp or this early game idea, they actually have to make it pay off early game in order to have a better game. Otherwise, it's going to be a 2-0, and that's just going to be unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone wants to see more of Vainglory, so we'll have to see if Phoenix Reborn can maybe this is the plan. That I mentioned when it was 3-0 that they were just burning down to the ashes so that they could have that rebirth and be reborn. Maybe that's the plan. And now it's going to start in game number 2 where they start
hope.
rising back up.
Yeah, let's hope. For now, though, we're going to give it back to the Rome Berries to get game number 2 here rolling, because I really want to know what Rome says.
Thank you very much for